Where is God? God is your neighbor. That simple philosophy sums up the deep spirituality and pastoral commitment of Father Douglas Hennessy. Although formerly a Monsignor in the Catholic Church, Father Doug is his most preferred greeting. Born and raised in Bloomington, his last pastoral assignment was his childhood parish, Holy Trinity Catholic Church, from 2004 until his retirement in 2013. People were very generous with me, he commented on his return. As a teenager, Doug worked in the stockyards with his father, helping load the porcine cargoes. Holy Trinity was an immersive experience. It was his family parish. Father Doug attended Holy Trinity grade school and high school, now Central Catholic High, and began serving at Mass during the 4th grade. He enjoyed sports, especially baseball, playing Little League Baseball for the American Legion and for Holy Trinity, along with basketball. After graduating from Holy Trinity in 1956, he began attending the University of Notre Dame. I was probably thinking about the priesthood before I took Latin, Father Doug said. It was kind of in the back of my mind already, I'm sure. Towards the end of his sophomore year, he was accepted as a seminarian for the Diocese of Peoria and completed his education at St. Ambrose University in Davenport, Iowa, with a bachelor's degree in philosophy. The diocese recognized his intelligence and commitment. Father Doug was sent to the Gregorian University in Rome in 1960 to study theology. It was the first time the diocese had sent a seminarian there to study since 1934. There were people from all over the place, Europe, Africa. Not everybody gets the opportunity, and I was the next guy to go. Wow, Father Doug recalled. It was an opportune moment for a young seminarian. Pope John XXIII, who reigned from 1958 to 1963, opened the windows and refreshed the Catholic Church in an increasingly secularized world. The Second Vatican Council, from 1962 to 1965, brought together church leaders from around the world to improve some of the church's practices and make them more understandable and relevant. The people came first, Father Doug remarked. This move re-energized the Catholic faith, allowing lay people to serve in leadership roles, shifting services to local languages instead of solely in Latin, and bringing the altar to face parishioners instead of the celebrant having his back to the congregation. I was there in Rome for the first 2 sessions of the Second Vatican Council. It was a great time to be there, it really was, Father Doug recalled. When he was ordained in Rome in 1963, his family was present, along with Jewish Bloomington furniture store owner Sam Stern, a family friend. Back stateside, he was assigned to be an assistant at St. Paul's Catholic Church in Macomb. Another familiar Bloomington normal presence, Father Joseph Kelly, shared Father Doug's first parish assignment in Macomb from 1964 to 1967. Father Doug credits his lifelong friend for teaching me how to be a priest. Father Joe was also a chaplain at Illinois State University's Newman Center from 1971 to 1991. In 1967, Father Doug returned to school and studied religious education at Fordham University in New York, crafting how to share a renewed church with parishioners and their children. After earning a master's degree in religious education, he was appointed the Associate Director of Religious Education for the Peoria Diocese. Father Doug would return to Rome in 1986 to serve on staff at the Pontifical North American College, where he had lived as a seminarian. This time, he was the one who counseled young seminarians, quote, as they all discern what God was calling them to do. Over 50 years, Father Doug served parishes at St. Patrick's and St. Martin's in Peoria, St. Patrick's in Urbana, and St. Paul's in Danville, before coming back home to Bloomington to serve at Holy Trinity in 2004. He formed tight bonds with his parishioners at each church. The 1960s and 70s ferment of civil rights and the Vietnam War saw him speaking up for human rights and equality, a passion he carried into his 2013 retirement, becoming active in immigrant rights and other causes. Father Doug says, God's Word tells us every person, without exception, has inherent human dignity and is worthy of respect. Bloomington's Dave Walkner told the Pantograph in 2013 that Father Doug, quote, is extremely dedicated to serving. As a priest, he's concerned about serving all of God's people, starting with the lowliest, the sick, and the poor. Those in need frequented Trinity's door, knowing Father Doug would always share. Since his 2013 retirement, Father Doug reports a fondness for golf, but still serves when called by local congregations and continues to stand up for social justice. Respect and love everybody, he advises. Listen to their story. The more you listen, the better off you are. Congratulations to 2025 history maker, Father Doug Hennessy.